Good Monday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside that weather window. And boy, a little bit of everything out there today. This shot looking down from our McNeil Canyon Sky-Fi Tower camera, looking out at Lake Chelan, parts of it anyway. And you can see some of those dark, big, billowing clouds that move through this afternoon. Some heavy downpours around parts of our viewing area this afternoon. Boy, that cloud at around 1:30 or so today. That dumped a lot of rain just to the west of Wenatchee in the Cascades, up around also Leavenworth Plain. Saw some pretty good shower activity, and that is going to continue as we make our way at least through the next few days this week. As we mentioned, localized heavy rain today, and then for Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll see some widespread rain showers. I think more of the heavy stuff will be to our east, but we'll still have a decent chance for some afternoon showers tomorrow and once again on Wednesday. More on your weather forecast coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. The body of the man found last Thursday morning in Moses Lake has been identified. A 17-year-old stolen car suspect led Moses Lake police on a lengthy chase through town late last week that included several high-speed laps through the Winco parking lot. And after a split council vote last week, Leavenworth has decided to move forward with the hiring of a new city administrator. But first, we begin tonight. The body of a missing 40-year-old Leavenworth man was found Friday afternoon in the Wenatchee River along Chihuahua Loop Road. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office said Jedediah Thorpe had been missing since he wandered away from his campsite Sunday night. His body was found near milepost 7 along Chihuahua Loop Road. It's about a mile from the campsite where he and his family had been staying. Sheriff's deputies, Chelan County Volunteer Search and Rescue, and Chelan County Swiftwater Rescue personnel had been searching for him since last Monday. With improved weather Friday, a sheriff's office helicopter was able to search the river and located Thorpe about 3 p.m. His body Thorpe's death is under investigation, that according to the sheriff's office. Meanwhile, the Grant County Sheriff's Office says the death of a man who fell from his boat Thursday morning in Moses Lake is, quote, nothing more than a terrible accident, unquote. The man has been identified as 41-year-old Kelly Ellingson of Moses Lake. The Sheriff's Office said Ellingson and a companion were returning to the dock at Blue Heron Park when Ellingson accelerated the boat while making a turn, causing both him and his friend to fall into the water around 9:30 a.m. The companion swam to shore, but Ellingson went under and didn't resurface. Neither Ellingson nor his companion were wearing a life vest. Columbia River rescue personnel recovered Ellingson's body about 5 p.m. on Thursday. A 17-year-old stolen car suspect led Moses Lake police on a lengthy chase through town late last week that included several high-speed laps through the Winco parking lot. Police dash cam video shows the teen racing through the parking lot and giving the middle finger to shoppers as he speeds past. Police flattened the vehicle's tires with spike strips, but the chase continued until the 17-year-old crashed the stolen car through a fence into the side of a house, then into a vehicle. Take a look at how it all went down on this video from the Moses Lake Police Department's dash cam.
Towards Martin.
The unidentified suspect faces theft of a vehicle and felony eluding charges in juvenile court. Well, after a split council vote last week, Leavenworth has decided to move forward with the hiring of new city administrator Ana Cortez Steiner come June 1st. Cortez Steiner was selected out of 20 applicants and 3 finalists by Mayor Carl Floria to replace former city administrator Joel Walensky. Before her selection, Cortez Steiner worked as an assistant city manager for Yakima and as city manager for Helena, Montana. Cortez Steiner says her first-year goals include getting to know the Leavenworth community on top of addressing the COVID-19 aftermath and getting the city back to normal.
Now, as far as work, clearly COVID-19, it's different. You know, I think that anybody taking any position of leadership right now in the United States has to say that priority number one is to address the COVID-19 aftermath. And so how do we transition the city back into quote-unquote normal? What are some of the precautions that we have to take? What are some of the systems that we need to change? What's the capacity that we need to build, and so on and so forth? So that's priority number one from a programmatic perspective.
The City Council voted to approve a contract with the new city administrator, although the vote ended up being only 4-3 in favor of Cortez Steiner. Coming up next, Chelan and Douglas counties will head into the 2020 election season with few contested races after the filing period for candidates ended on Friday. 7 people have filed to run against 8th District U.S. Representative Kim Schreier as she seeks her second term in Congress. And East Wenatchee's newest roundabout at 3rd Street and Highland Drive opened Friday night. It's about a month and a half ahead of schedule. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Don't worry, all the fun is around the corner. There's no better time to get ready than now with Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa Spring Sale. Stock Up and Save sale is now going on in-store and online at bluelagoonpoolandspa.com. Even pool heaters are on sale. Financing available upon approval. Credit 24-month, no interest with equal payments. Stop by today or order online at bluelagoonpoolandspa.com. Free water testing available in-store or curbside. Don't wait. The sale is going on now through June 1st. Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today. 509-663-1710.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Welcome back. In another news, Chelan and Douglas counties will head into the 2020 election season with few contested races after the filing period for candidates ended on Friday. The only local race in the August 4th primary with more than 2 candidates is for Chelan County Commissioner District 4, where Dale England and Tiffany Gehring, both of Chelan, and Brant Capel of Wenatchee will face off to determine which 2 will face off in the November general election. District 4 Commissioner Doug England, Dale England's brother, is not seeking re-election. Commissioner Kevin Overbay will run unopposed. Of the 3 12th District state legislators up for re-election, only Representative Keith Gaynor faces opposition, and that comes from Adrian Moore of Winthrop. Senator Brad Hawkins and Representative Mike Steele will also run unopposed. In Douglas County, meanwhile, County Commissioners Dan Sutton and Kyle Steinberg drew no opposition. In other news, 7 people have filed to run against 8th District U.S. Representative Kim Schreier as she seeks her second term in Congress. Probably the best known of her opponents are Republicans, Jesse Jensen. He's an Army veteran and Amazon manager from Bonnie Lake. And Keith Swank of Puyallup. He's a Seattle Police Department captain. Filing as a Trump Republican was Dave Salibio, who lists the Spokane post office as his address. Salibio ran in the 2018 primary against Spokane Congresswoman Kathy McMorris Rogers, but received just 2.4% of the vote in that primary. Schreier, a Democrat, won a hotly contested race in 2018 against Republican Dino Rossi to replace retiring Congressman Dave Reichert. In the 4th District, Congressman Dan Newhouse drew 5 opponents, 2 of them fellow Republicans, a Democrat, an independent, and a libertarian. Well, East Wenatchee's newest roundabout at 3rd Street and Highland Drive opened Friday night. It's about a month and a half ahead of schedule. KRCI, the contractor on that project, was given additional time for closing the intersection because of lighter traffic due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The $730,000 roundabout is designed to address safety issues at the busy intersection near Costco and several auto dealerships. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's features story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Visit Conservation.
Oh, great. Another one of those PUD rebate commercials. Like they're really going to give you money to buy energy-efficient products.
No, it's real.
There's got to be a catch. I mean, there's always a catch with these things.
Okay. It's real.
Right? It can't be real.
Trust me, it is so real.
The rebates are real. Visit conservationmakessense.org to learn more.
Sign me up.
The Sangster Motors showroom in Wenatchee continues to be closed temporarily. But did you know that if you're involved in an accident, it's still possible to buy a new vehicle? If you find yourself in that situation, reach out to Sangster Motors and they'll have someone available to help. The service department at Sangster Motors remains open in the event you need a repair. By using the latest guidelines, they can keep you and their staff safe. Pickup and drop off is easy. Call 662-6134.
We appreciate all your business. We appreciate all your support. Everybody stay healthy and God bless you.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. At 8:32 a.m. on a Sunday morning 40 years ago today, an earthquake caused the entire north side of Mount St. Helens to slide away in the largest landslide ever recorded. 57 people died in the eruption, causing $3 billion in damage. In tonight's features story, a look back at the most disastrous volcanic eruption in U.S. history.
Most of the residents around the base of Mount St. Helens have already been evacuated, but a few have refused to leave, including 84-year-old Harry Truman, who says the earthquake preceding this morning's eruption was the strongest he's felt so far. Truman, who is not related to the former president but is just as feisty, says he's lived here 54 years and is not about to leave. He's got enough bourbon and coke and food, he says, to stick it out a long time.
Mount St. Helens, for 123 years it was dormant, but today the volcano exploded with a powerful force that turned daylight to dark. Tonight, the death toll from the explosion has reached at least 7. Tom Schell reports.
Mount St. Helens literally blew her top this morning and has been belching smoke and ash ever since. There are unconfirmed reports of lava flowing on the mountain. The volcano was over 9,700 feet high, but lost an estimated 700 feet today. At least 5 people have been killed and many others are missing. The smoke and ash is covering a wide area of the Pacific Northwest, as we can see in this infrared satellite photo. The cloud of ash extends from Mount St. Helens eastward across the Idaho Panhandle into Montana. In Yakima, Washington this morning, 85 miles north of Mount St. Helens, it was like midnight. Streetlights came on automatically, and many cars stalled when the ash clogged carburetors. Walls of mud slid into the Toutle River, sending a 20-foot-high torrent of water rushing downstream. A Weyerhaeuser logging camp was wiped out, and the logs swept downriver. The debris took out one bridge and forced the closing of the Interstate 5 bridge for several hours. It is feared that some people could have been swept away by the floodwaters, but the 5 confirmed deaths were blamed on the heavy ash and the sulfuric gases that poured out of the volcano. A team from National Geographic reported from the north side of the volcano that Spirit Lake appeared to be boiling and the Spirit Lake Lodge was flattened. That's the home of Harry Truman, the 83-year-old caretaker who has refused to leave the mountain. Today, we got the first close-up look at Mount St. Helens since the massive eruption Sunday morning. This is the area that blew out. It is the slope that had been bulging for several days. The force of the blast flattened everything in its path. These logs were a forest until 8:30 a.m. Sunday. The landscape is almost colorless because of the heavy coating of volcanic ash. This is the bottom of the Toutle River, the water cut off by a 200-foot-high mud flow that acts as a natural dam. Scientists say the water will soon come over the dam, probably causing major flooding downstream. If the dam bursts, it could cause flooding at the towns of Kelso and Longview, Washington, 40 miles away, where 50,000 people live. Silt and mud that got into the Toutle River from the eruption has been carried into the Columbia River, making it too shallow for shipping. At least a dozen freighters are stranded in the ports of Vancouver, Washington, and Portland, Oregon. Mount St. Helens is continuing to send up clouds of ash that are drifting to the east, dropping a heavy layer of ash over a large area.
Boy, I'm sure a lot of you remember that, as I do. I was a junior in high school in Joplin, Montana, a small northern Montana town, and we had at least that much ash on our lawns, and we canceled school the next day. Unbelievable sight back in 1980. But this is a beautiful sight outside our weather window today as we are looking from our McNeil Canyon Sky-Fi Tower camera at Lake Chelan. And kind of a nice day today. We did see some clouds and some scattered thunderstorm activity around there, but temperatures today really not too bad. Below where we should be though. 68 unofficially today. 72 is our normal. 97 record high temperature back in 2006. Record low 39 in 1989, 0.18 of an inch of moisture. That was our weekend total from Saturday, and also that rain last night. That now gets us to 2.24 inches for the year. Sunrise this morning 5:20, and the sun will set tonight at 8:35. Let's take a look now at that surface loop. Let's go to tomorrow's temperatures. We'll get surface loop is fine. Your eye will stay there. We are a little short on time tonight, so mostly cloudy tonight. We will see about a 40% chance for still some scattered shower activity out there. Most of that, though, should push off into Idaho and parts of western Montana. As we get into Tuesday, the instability is going to stick around for a while, folks. Partly cloudy, a 30% chance for scattered showers. Notice the lightning bolts in our embedded in our shower activity, so we could still see some thunderstorm activity tomorrow afternoon, so keep your eye on the sky. And then as we get to Wednesday and this system pushes off, windy conditions behind that. We'll see a steady wind, 10 to 20 miles an hour, with gusts maybe approaching 30 miles an hour on Wednesday. Things quiet down then on Thursday. We'll once again see partly cloudy skies, about a 20% chance for scattered showers. High pressure begins to build off the Pacific coast, but most of those showers should remain in the western part of the state. As we end our work week then on Friday, things get much better. Partly cloudy, will still be a little bit cooler than normal. Remember, our normal high right now, lower 70s. We'll be in the upper 60s. And then for Saturday, a nice warm up. Mostly sunny as high pressure builds in over the Pacific Northwest, a big ridge over all of us in the western U.S. And we will see temperatures really go up on Sunday. Partly cloudy, unseasonably warm on Sunday. Could be a little bit of rain activity late, but we're going to see highs on Sunday in the mid to upper 70s. Let's take a look now at your Patriot Plumbing, Heating and Cooling 7-day forecast. 51 tonight, lower 70s on Tuesday and Wednesday. Remember, some wind on Wednesday. A little bit of shower activity Thursday, and then just a nice warm up. And by the time we get to the end of the weekend on Sunday, partly cloudy with a high then of 77. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
You want to help others. You need a solid career. You can have both with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, stop by our campus at 595 Grant Road across from Safeway or visit chartercollege.edu.
AC Checker has new owners who put customer service first. When you have to get there on time, call fast, friendly, reliable AC Checker, 663-TAXI. AC Checker has the industry's only on-time or it's free guarantee. Conditions apply. Call AC Checker, 663-TAXI to schedule your cab or schedule online at acchecker.com. Call American Classic Taxi, 663-TAXI. That's 663-8294.
Aging and Adult Care offers many in-home care options and services for seniors and family caregivers. But did you know they also offer free in-home delivered meals? Aging and Adult Care has expanded its program for home-delivered meals to help elderly and vulnerable adults at this challenging time. If you are in need of prepared meals or know someone who could benefit, call Aging and Adult Care for more information about free home-delivered meals. Call 509-886-0700.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Monday to you, staying home and staying healthy. Eric Granstrom on the NCWLIFE channel. Seahawks fans a little nervous about news coming out over the weekend from their new cornerback that was picked up in the offseason from the Washington Redskins. Quentin Dunbar was allegedly involved in a big a robbery. An armed robbery at a house in Florida last Thursday. Now, he turned himself into police on Saturday and then was bailed out of jail on Sunday. Dunbar out of jail on a $100,000 bond after turning himself into authorities on Saturday. A warrant for Dunbar's arrest was issued Thursday in Miramar, Florida, along with New York Giants cornerback DeAndre Baker for the duo's alleged role in an armed robbery at a party Wednesday night. Dunbar's attorney, Michael Grieco, argued before the judge Sunday morning that his client should be set free. Grieco showed the judge affidavits from 5 witnesses at the party that exonerates his client. Reportedly, the 5 witnesses are the same 5 who reported the theft to police to begin with. Dunbar and Baker are accused of robbing thousands of dollars in cash, pricey designer watches at gunpoint after an argument broke out at a party Wednesday night. Now, Dunbar, through his attorney, is also apologizing to the Seahawks and to Seahawks fans for any distraction that this may cause. Grieco, the attorney for Dunbar, says that these affidavits prove not only did Dunbar not have anything to do with the robbery, but there's some argument as to whether he was actually even at the party or not at the time that the incident occurred. Of course, more to come on this. Well, NASCAR celebrated a successful return to racing Sunday with a Real Heroes 400 at Darlington Raceway. Kevin Harvick won his 50th race of his career with NASCAR's first race back since March. Harvick led 159 laps of the race, which was run without fans. It was the first four NASCAR races that will be run within a 10-day period. It was strange to watch the end of that. Checkered flag falls. He does some donuts on the straightaway and then stops at the start-finish line. They do an interview with him, and there's absolutely crickets in the crowd because there is no crowd. There was no crowd there for that particular race. Now, speaking of racing, if you missed it on Friday, Wenatchee Valley's Super Oval has announced it is scheduling some practices due to the lessening of the rules in the state of Washington from the governor. Super Oval announced on social media on Friday that there will be 2 open practice sessions, May 27th, that's this week on Wednesday, and the following week on Wednesday, June 3rd from 5 to 8 p.m. The pits will start opening at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, there is a cost for this for race teams to participate. It's $125, and a maximum of 5 people are allowed for each team. To reserve a spot, you need to call ahead. Get a hold of Jeremy Anders, 884-8592. That's 884-8592. I'm sure you could probably find more information also at WVSO.com or just do a search for Wenatchee Valley Super Oval or WVSO on Facebook, and you'll find out more about that. Well, the PGA also made a return on Sunday with a tailor-made driving relief match play event in Seminole Golf Club. That was in Juno Beach, Florida. Rory McIlroy delivered the winning shot Sunday, and he and Dustin Johnson edged the team of Matthew Wolff and Ricky Fowler. McIlroy and Johnson raised $1.85 million for the American Nurses Foundation. Wolff and Fowler raised $1.15 million for the CDC Foundation. It was the first televised PGA event since early March and featured players carrying their own bags. That was kind of interesting to watch. There was also no gallery, and players were mic'd up for an inside listen to conversations between players. I've seen people saying, oh my gosh, a celebrity match event, must-see TV. That shows you how desperate we are to watch some sports on television. Well, golfers got some great news on Friday with the Governor Jay Inslee's update to the rules regarding COVID precautions on the links. The biggest of the 5 new updates was that unrelated foursomes are now allowed to play with each other. When golfing returned May 5th, only players from the same household were allowed to play together. The update says, quote, foursomes are permitted as long as the course determines that foursomes will not create congestion on the course. Single players should be asked if they would like to be paired together, end quote. So it's kind of like the old days of playing with foursomes, now available at local golf courses. Well, coming up this week, speaking of watching sports here on the NCW Life channel, we're going back to a Thursday through Sunday schedule this week to kick off in fine fashion Thursday night with Hockey Night. We're sticking with that amazing playoff run for the Wenatchee Wild in 2018. It's Game 5 of the Doyle Cup Finals with the Spruce Grove Saints. Our checker has the play-by-play. That'll be 7 o'clock on Thursday night. On Friday, we'll bring you Apple Sox baseball against the Yakima Valley Pippins from last August. Saturday, we'll start with West Valley and Eastmont Wrestling from January of 2017 at 2 o'clock. That's followed at 6:30 by West Valley and Eastmont football, also from 2017 in September. And then on Sunday, we'll have the Wenatchee Wild versus Merritt Centennials in a double dip at 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock back from November 1st and 2nd at the Town Toyota Center. If you're wondering where sports went on Tuesdays, usually we do this in the summertime where we don't play sports on Tuesday nights. Instead, we're going to bring you our outdoor offerings with the Northwest Outdoorsman, also Angler West, and Harrod's Cookhouse. So be sure and watch for that on Tuesday night starting at 7 o'clock here on the NCW Life channel. That's sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Eric. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.
This is Caitlin Hedershe, the producer of the NCW Life magazine. Each week, I'm bringing you a look behind the scenes of the faces, places, and events that make North Central Washington the place we call home. Tune in every weekday for an in-depth look at a new topic each week. From local artists in their studios to businesses breaking barriers that might surprise you and everything in between. Join me on the NCW Life magazine right here on the NCW Life channel.
Do you have a fun or interesting video you'd like to see featured here on the NCW Life channel? It's easy. All you have to do is send us an email at newsphotos@ncwlife.com.